Have you ever hit rock bottom, staring at a failure that feels like the end of the world? What if I told you that 90% of successful people today have faced defeats that nearly broke them, but they didn't let it? Winston Churchill, the defiant leader who turned the tide of World War II against all odds, delivered a bombshell truth. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. But here's the twist. Most people misread this as just motivational fluff, when in reality, it's a battle-tested blueprint for unbreakable resilience. In this video, we'll unpack the raw power of Churchill's wisdom, blending it with ancient philosophies and real-life stories of people who turned crushing defeats into legendary comebacks. Stick around, because by the end, you'll see why giving up is the only true failure. Picture this: a young inventor in a dimly lit workshop, surrounded by piles of discarded prototypes, his latest attempt exploding in smoke. That was Thomas Edison, who endured over 1,000 botched experiments before the light bulb finally glowed. Many think he was a genius who never failed, but Edison himself shattered that myth. "I have not failed. I've just found 1,000 ways that won't work." This mindset echoes Churchill's call to persist, turning what looks like the end into a mere detour. Now fast forward to today. Alex, a startup founder in Silicon Valley, watched his company crumble during a market crash, losing everything he built in months. Devastated, he could have quit, but Churchill's words became his anchor. He dissected the collapse, pinpointed his blind spots in risk management, and pivoted to a new venture in sustainable tech. Within 2 years, his app raised millions in funding. Alex reflects, "I thought failure was fatal, until I realized it's just feedback. Churchill taught me courage isn't about avoiding storms, it's about sailing through them." His story shows how reframing failure as a teacher can ignite a comeback stronger than before. But here's where most people get it wrong. They treat success as a permanent trophy and failure as a death sentence. This misunderstanding leads to paralysis, where one win makes you complacent and one loss makes you quit. Ancient Stoics like Marcus Aurelius warned against this trap. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. In other words, obstacles aren't endings, they're the raw material for growth. Take Sarah, an aspiring actress in Hollywood, who faced rejection after rejection, auditioning for 200 roles without a callback. She nearly gave up, thinking her dream was dead. But Churchill's quote flipped her perspective. She started treating each no as a lesson in performance, networking, and resilience. She refined her craft, built a portfolio of short films, and eventually landed a lead role in a hit series. Sarah says, "Success felt final after my first big break, but failure taught me it's the courage to audition again that counts." Her journey reveals how embracing this duality keeps you moving forward, turning temporary highs and lows into sustained progress. What if your biggest failure is hiding your greatest lesson? Let's dive into the steps to apply this wisdom right now. First, reframe your mindset. List 3 past failures and identify 1 skill or insight gained from each. John, a small business owner in Texas, did this after his restaurant failed due to a recession. He realized his weakness in financial planning, so he took online courses, networked with mentors, and relaunched with a food truck model. Within a year, it expanded to 3 locations. John explains, "Churchill's words made me see failure as a pivot, not a pitfall. I turned my mistakes into my menu for success." This simple exercise shifts your focus from regret to resourcefulness. Next, build daily habits that foster courage. Start small. Commit to 1 action each day that scares you, like networking or learning a new skill. Lisa, a marathon runner in Boston, applied this after a severe injury that doctors said would end her running days. She began with 5-minute walks, gradually building to jogs, then runs, tracking her progress in a journal. 2 years later, she crossed the finish line of her first marathon. Lisa shares, "Churchill reminded me failure isn't fatal. It's the courage to lace up my shoes again that rebuilt me." Her habit of incremental progress proves that consistency turns vulnerability into victory. A common mistake is chasing perfection, which paralyzes action. People often wait for the perfect moment or plan, missing opportunities. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, advised, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Maria, a teacher in Chicago, fell into this trap, burning out from trying to be the perfect educator. After a failed project, she embraced Churchill's wisdom, focusing on small improvements like weekly student feedback sessions. Her class scores soared, and she earned a promotion. Maria notes, "I learned success isn't perfection, it's persisting through imperfections." To avoid this error, celebrate progress, not just outcomes. May, a single mother in Singapore, struggled balancing work and parenting after her divorce. She set micro goals like 15-minute quality time with her twins daily and rewarded herself with a simple treat. Over time, her family bond strengthened, and she landed a flexible job. May says, "Churchill's quote showed me failure in one area isn't fatal. Courage to adjust kept me going." This approach prevents burnout and builds momentum. Another pitfall is isolating yourself after failure, thinking no one understands. But courage thrives in connection. James, a banker in London laid off during a merger, initially withdrew in shame. Inspired by Churchill, he joined a support group, shared his story, and gained insights from others' experiences. He retrained in digital finance and started a successful consultancy. James reflects, "Failure felt fatal alone, but courage came from continuing with others' help." Seeking support turns solitude into solidarity. In wrapping up, Churchill's wisdom illuminates, success is not final, failure is not fatal. Courage to continue defines us. By reframing failures, building habits, avoiding perfectionism, celebrating progress, and seeking connections, you forge a path of positive living. A final tale. Mr. Tran, a Vietnamese veteran who lost a leg in war, refused to let it define him. He learned painting, exhibiting globally. Mr. Tran smiles. "Churchill showed me failure isn't the end. It's the brushstroke for a new canvas." But here's a secret. The next video will reveal how to turn this courage into lifelong habits. Don't miss it. Try reframing one failure today, take a small step, and share if you can. Wishing you strength and joy.